Wake up, it's that time again. The sun's not here, but we're on again. Grab your coffee, grab your crystals and gather round. It's not lunch, it's not breakfast, it's the time we found. For brunch, well maybe we're busy. For brunch, maybe we're lazy. For brunch, well maybe it's Conquest. For brunch, or a real request. But brunch is the time that we make for each of us, where we ask Egnards dumb stuff, because brunch will always be the special time for Egnards and for me.
All right. Hello and good morning, friends. I'm trying something new this morning, and it's probably going to completely throw me off. Basically, I have my three screens, one, two, and three. Usually, I have my game on the left screen, the stream on the middle screen, and whatever browser I need on the right hand screen. And what that ends up meaning is that when I'm actually playing the game, I tend to look like this constantly away from you guys while I'm chatting. So we're going to try something today where I have this all shifted around. The stream is actually on my left screen. The game is on my middle screen, and then my browser screen is left unaffected. And what that means is that right now I am talking, looking at nothing, which is throwing me off. And it does mean, hopefully not, but it does mean there is a chance that I am going to forget to look at the chat a little bit more. And if that happens, I apologize. We're going to see if this works. We're going to see if this is better. But good morning to everybody. I am very excited for this brunch. It is an action-packed brunch. It is Hell Week brunch, which means we have the raid, we have territory battles, we have Conquest to do. We, of course, have some roster reviews from serial roster review requesters. I look, I would love to say we're going to do egg draws. Everyone always asks me when's eggs draws, when is egg draws, but we got to get to the reviews, and it just keeps getting pushed off as people need all of this help with their rosters. So we'll try, but it's one of those things. I am excited. We know that GAC is changing. The time of GAC is changing. I'm not happy about it. I've made it known that I'm not happy about it. I don't think that it's smart to make that change, but the change does actually benefit brunch, because that means that there will always be a Saturday night into Sunday morning brunch, GAC. So going forward, I guess we do need a GAC intro, and going forward, this very stress-free, very quiet, very melodic brunch time is going to be maybe a little bit more chaotic, especially as GAC is going on. So as much as I do not think it is a good change, it is one that is going to benefit us and make it more exciting for us in the future. User, I do need to do the honeypot math tomorrow or the next day. Next week, I don't really have too much going on because my camps are over, which is really nice. I do have a Thursday camp, which is a little bit shorter. And then Friday, I'm going to the eye doctor. So Friday, I'm basically going to be out of commission. They're going to put those little drops in my eyes. I'm not going to be able to see for crap starting at 9 a.m. going through basically probably the entire day until I have to leave for work at around 4 p.m. So that's going to be interesting. But I'll have 3 days to do the honeypot math and to kill more of my Discord members in XCOM throughout the morning. And I've thought about streaming my XCOM, guys, but the reality is that the majority of my time playing XCOM is while my wife is already awake and she's already doing work. And it's really just practice for the Star Wars game Zero Company, where if they have similar mechanics, we will spend the first day just inputting Discord members into the game itself and using you guys as my lemmings for the entire thing. Probe droids and TB, screw probe droids. See what I did there? There's another word that I would normally say in place of screw probe droids. I hate the probe droid mechanic, Adis. I really do. All it does is prolong battles, and it wouldn't be so bad if it was one planet, right? Like if it was just a single planet, like Dathomir has revives, and everyone hates the revives, but you only have to deal with it on Dathomir. But every single planet that has Imperial enemies has the stupid freaking probe droid mechanic, and it makes it harder to auto or slower to auto. It doesn't even make it harder to auto, But now every single time you hit auto, you kill the probe droid respawns, your guys focus on the probe droid again, and it just takes forever. I honestly hate it. Is that why you got me killed? Listen, Emperor, man, it was a valiant fight. That was a great fight. I had just upgraded squads to 5 in my squad, and you probably would have survived if you were promoted, because I had told you you had been promoted and I was waiting for you to tell me which skill you wanted, but I needed you in the next mission because I only had rookies other than you. And if you had that ability, we would have killed at least 1 or 2 of those clanky things, those robot things, a little bit faster. So your death is your own misfortune. But I'll add you to the character queue, and maybe you'll be revived as another character. Who knows? Maybe it'll happen. We still got to get Boomer in there. We got to get JT in there. We've got to get a Vance Sacrificial Lamb in there as like the rookie that I send in because everybody else is injured, right? Because right now everybody is basically injured from the last mission. We've got to get a Sin Sacrificial Lamb in there as well, so that every time I'm frustrated with Sin, I can send them into battle. But with all of that said, rename all of the rookies to Vance. Actually, I like the idea. Everybody is Vance until they've been upgraded and get a new name. That's quite clever. And if we can do that, we're going to do that. Maybe we'll name them first name as like a Discord member and then last name as Vance until they get upgraded. We have a lot to do today, though. We have action-packed brunch, so we do need to get started. So let's check in on the game. Here we are. Swear jar is only at $6. Thankfully, Phil's swearing does not add to the swear jar. Otherwise, I would be in massive debt right now after the tirade he went on in the last Zeta Protocol episode. But I have been good. TB is going nicely. We are on track for our 47. We have one guild member who is on vacation in an area with no Wi-Fi. And they wanted to give me their account to kind of deploy and everything during that time. But they reached out to me way too late. And we couldn't coordinate a time for me to get their code. So even with this person not deploying and not doing platoons over the last couple of days. Oh, I see these black boxes are here. Let me fix that. Hide. We don't need these because this is my account. Even though he has not deployed, we're still on track for 47. I think next event we're going to go for 48 because we skip the star in day 5 to go for the easier star in day 6, but I think we'll be able to get both stars next event. The Jar Jar's jar of Jar Jars is cumulative. I think we're going to just wait until Christmas, and around Christmas we'll donate whatever is in that swear jar. No matter what it is, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Ani, I was planning on doing it yesterday. Obviously, one of our guildmates, I said he was on vacation. And we were really only missing 1 platoon. So this morning, I took Sana from Relic 5 to Relic 9. I have literally never used Sana. I have never put her in a... No, that's a lie. I've used her in Order 66 before we found out that Hondo could solo it before GL Hondo came out. That was the only time I ever used her, was as a sacrificial lamb, as a Vance, as you will. But she's Relic 9 now, so I have another crappy Relic 9 on my roster. Hopefully... I mean, I think I'm going to be all right. I think I'll be fine. I think we'll be okay. Listen... We can redeem the rants, right? We upgraded, we increased the cost of the rants because yes, we'll do the rants. They'll go towards the swear jar. It's a great way for you guys to donate my money. But let's get into this because I don't want to waste any combats. Mandalore is definitely going to hit. without any need for anything extra, which is super, super, super nice. Let's check out our... What time is it? 16:30. Wake up, it's that time again. Grab your coffee, grab your crystals, grab your friends. Alright, let's see how we do. Not bringing her to R10. I don't even know who she is. I don't know what she's from. I've never seen her in anything. I think it's a comic book, right? Making a jarring addition to the Jar Jar's jar of swearing. It's all in good fun. It goes to a good place. Grab your coffee, grab your... Yeah, I don't read the comics. I barely watch the shows anymore. That's a lie. I've seen... I haven't seen a lot of the animated shows, so I haven't seen, like, Tales of the Empire. I haven't seen Tales of the Jedi. I haven't seen Visions. I know people love Visions. I just haven't had time to watch it. You know, look, if you haven't caught up on anything, it might as well not be the movies. Some very small contingent of people really love the sequels. I don't know who those people are. I don't know what's wrong with those people. They're not good movies. I mean, I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you should see them so that you can be annoyed with everybody else, but I don't particularly think they're very important. Adis, I know. I've heard that the animation is good. I know people love Tales of the Jedi. I know people love Tales of the Empire. I know that people are flipping out with Visions and they think it's amazing and they want it to come to this game. Just don't... It's not something my wife is interested in watching, and I have such limited time when she's not around. I used to watch a lot of TV when she wasn't around, but now when we have the streams and we have GAC nights, like, I end up doing those things because I like hanging out with you guys as well. So I very, very, very rarely, have time to sit and watch TV. Unless it's something we're both watching. Which, speaking of which, The Pit is amazing. Oh my god, I can't believe I waited so long to watch The Pit. I haven't finished season 2 yet, but it might be one of my favorite shows ever. It might also be that I just grew up watching ER. Mandalore open. Well, maybe the next one's going to be Tales of the Mandalore. Tales of the Mandalorian. Oh, God, coffee. I love coffee. Things to snack on while watching TV. So, I have a very... I am very particular about my snacks. I like snacks that take a long time to eat, and there are a lot of them. Right? So, like my wife, for example, like, she might have, like, a sandwich as, like, a snack. Or, like, a piece of toast with, like, peanut butter with a snack. But I or ice cream as a snack, but I like things that I can grab into a container and just continually eat. So I'll have popcorn with some tahini on it as a snack while watching TV. I really like pretzels and hummus. And when I get the hummus, I'll put some like sriracha in there for like a spicy hummus. And I like the pretzels that are like little squares. And I'm one of those people who will like sit there and I'll take a pretzel and I'll slowly scrape across it to keep the hummus even across the entire thing. I like jalapeno potato chips. I like salt and vinnies. Salt and vinnies are amazing. They're one of my favorite snacks. Tahini. I think it's Taijin. It's like lightly salty, but also a little bit spicy. It is permanent, Zelander. They said it is a permanent change. They still haven't told me if lock is on Monday or Wednesday. There we go. Mcclanky's got it with tahini. Tajine. It goes really great with like a margarita as a rim. Now a lot of places are doing tahini rims, but it also goes really great on popcorn. So what? Jalapeno chips, salt and vinnies are amazing as well. I like making nachos, or we'll call them like ghetto nachos. And ghetto nachos are where you take the scoops and you just put a little bit of cheese in it and you microwave it. Like anything that I can eat a large amount of in small bits. One of my favorite snacks is pepperoncini. We will get a big tub of pepperoncini and I will sit there with a small bowl for like the tops and just bite into them and throw them in the bowl. It might be my favorite thing in this world. Don't tell my wife I said that though, obviously. What else? And it like again, like I like ice cream. Ice cream is fine, but ice cream is one thing. I don't want one thing. Well, sometimes at lunchtime on like a Sunday, so like a today, though we're going to the movies. We're going to the movies, but like on a day like today, if we're not going for lunch, we might go to the grocery store and just get like meat, cheese, and crackers. And I'll eat that for lunch as like a snack at the same time. Well, Hell Week is not going to suck more because of GAC. I mean, at least for me. I know for people at the lower end of the game, it might suck more, but like Hell Week, day 1 and 2 are very easy for me, and there's no GAC running. There's only that overlap on the Sunday, Monday now. On that last piece, or I think it would be Monday too. It depends on if it's a Monday lock or a Wednesday lock. But at least for me, it will not affect Hell Week. It's a Moroccan thing, which is interesting because like the only time I ever have it is in like a margarita. I did not know that. You learn something new at brunch. Now, I have beaten this mission both times this week without platoons. So now that we have platoons, it will, of course, lose the mission. What I've taken to doing is not really using special moves in Wave 1 to make sure I have them all available to me in Wave 2. want the good stuff for wave 2. Pringles, man, Pringles used to be great when Pringles were cheap. It used to be like $1.50 for a box, a canister of Pringles. Now it's like $4.50 for a thing of Pringles, and Pringles, you're not that good. You're not $4.50 good. You're like $2 good. Yeah, Nee, you know, that's one of my, I've talked about this a lot. One of my favorite things, and I say this almost every week, but like if my wife and I go into New York City and we get a little drunk at our favorite bar, and then I start walking down the street and watching people, and I just sit there and I go, wow, like that person on the phone is talking to somebody. That person is going home to like their apartment. That person is doing, like, it just blows my mind that everybody else is the main character in their own story. And I love it. I hate strangers, but I love finding out about people at the same time. As long as talking to strangers is on my terms, I am completely fine with it. It has to be on my terms. Probably should have gone for Moff Gideon. Ani's gonna yell at me when I lose this mission now. Like, you dummy. You went for the wrong guy. I'm a voyeur. I don't know, there's just something cool about it when you really think about it, like everybody living their own life. Because people don't stop to think about that. And there's a term for it too. I saw someone at a Starbucks. The barista at Starbucks had this tattoo of a word, and someone complimented her, and then we looked it up later, and I was like, oh, that's the term for that thing that I've always been talking about. But I forgot what it was. So, that's awkward. I was like, oh, other people have that same feeling that I do. It's fine, Ani. I did it. I still won. I think we're actually in a good space today to just keep Hoth open. I gotta do the math after I do my battles to see. User, how is your... Because I saw you had done your missions this morning. Is your guild on track? What are you guys doing? 49, or are you trying for 50 this time? You guys on track for that crap? Didn't admittedly look at the star count this morning when I was popped in there. I was busy trying to get those last datacrons that wouldn't roll. Someone asked me about datacrons, and I ignored them completely. Because we were talking about snack foods. Fast Eddie, how is my datacron farming progressing? It's okay. It's been fine. It's been a very busy week because I've had to do my own conquest. I have clients I am helping out with their stuff. I have a friend who is away, and I've been helping him out with his conquest. I got my Ugnaught Cron, which is important. I got my Jar Jar Cron, which is important. Everything else is just roll what's out there. I got a Cobb Vanth Cron. But it's not like a maxed perfect Cobb Vanth Cron. So I have some good stuff, but I don't go too crazy. I did get a nice Lord Vader Cron with the 10% max health damage on it. Well, no, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. What I'm talking about is like the idea of you're not the main character and like other people are also living their own life and main character at the same time. It's one word, and she had it tattooed on her arm, and we Googled it and we looked it up because we were like, why are people complimenting this tattoo? Like it's words, it looks fine. And then it blew my mind, and I was like, oh, now I get it. I understand it. But yes, I used to think that I was. I used to believe that I was an introvert that could cosplay as an extrovert. But I'm starting to think it's the opposite. I'm more extroverted, but with some introverted tendencies. It's over. It's over. You won your. Good morning, Shadow. Game's dead. We have the Game's Dead sticker on Discord now for anyone who wants to join. Yeah, I mean, I just found it. I just found out about it a few weeks ago. Sonder, that's it, Ani. Yes. It's at least similar. I was like, oh, that describes it. That describes the thing that I've been feeling for all of these years. Morning, Warlock. What day are we on? Is it 30 days of milk? 30 days of milking Egnards. Where's Storm at when you need him? He's gonna pop in now. He's like, I'm gonna milk you hard, Egnards. I am looking for some more attacker ones. Honestly, you know, Tass and X and I were talking about Datacrons. We were going over some stuff. And there are definitely some front runners in terms of like, these are crons that you want. But the set as a whole, to me, doesn't feel that exciting. Because you go in and you get these sets, and like a lot of the teams that need attacker crons don't even have healers on the team. So you go, all right, the 3 is irrelevant. I did not see yesterday's video. I have been slacking on Discord lately because in order to stop myself from being constantly online, I have installed a new app on my phone, and I need to build up screen time in order to play my games or go on any social media apps. And it has actually helped me out a ton, because every time I click on one of those apps, the screen pops up and says, do you want to use 5 minutes of your screen time? And then I turn it off and I say no. So I have been on Discord a lot less unless I am on my computer. And I build up that screen time by doing squats and push-ups. So I have been doing more push-ups lately. I try, but I've made it very difficult on myself by like making the conversion rates very small, very low. So I burn through that screen time pretty quickly, especially during TB week. Because it was too big for Discord. Oh my god. I'm appreciating that you are committing to the bit. I'm thinking if you get to 100, we're gonna give you the milkman role. And maybe at 1 year we'll give you an even creepier role. Yes, Nee, but do you know what language probably has that word already? German. Because German has a very highly specific word for literally everything. If I ask Moonborn about a word or like a phrase, I'll be like, what does it mean if you're really happy, but you're really sad at the same time, and you're frustrated with life, but you love people? And Moonborn would be like, oh yeah, we have that word. That's happy de sadden de glocken. I actually don't. Well, you know what? I don't want to say it, Xander, because I have to like put my phone on the floor and then it tracks my movement and my whole body needs to be in it. Um, and the only place in this office where I can set up the phone to track properly is on the door, which means in order for me to do squats while on stream and get credit, it would just be a shot of my ass. And if and if that doesn't summon Storm, I don't know what would. I do not know what would. All right, so we need. See, Khan, that's what I'm saying. Every word in German. There's always a word in German. I'll redeem all of my points for it. My God. I didn't say there was an objection. I said that I probably shouldn't tell you guys that. Zelander, isn't Obsession amazing? It comes to streaming next week, and I'm excited. My wife and I are going to get high, and we are going to watch Obsession again, because it is such a good movie. Oh my God, it just hit $400 million at the box office on a budget of $750,000. It is insane. Screen time stream. Watch Egg spend an hour trying to build up screen time. I actually am gonna have to do that for like the school year. So I'm gonna have to build up like a squirrel, like build up screen time to make sure that I can like do my TBs during school this year. Though I think they have me in 6th grade. That's gonna suck. I've never been in 6th grade before, and I think I might have to be more active. Gotta train everybody to do things on their own without my input. Wake up, it's that time again. I could modify the multipliers. I can, and I did. I modified my multipliers to be... I modified them to be very strict. You know what, though, Dan? I think that a lot more movies are better than people give them credit for. And I think that some people are way too picky with movies and they expect every movie to be a work of art. And that's just not how movies have ever been. And they kind of treat, you know, movies with like rose tinted glasses and go like, oh, back in my day, there was all these great movies. But there was also a lot of shitty movies. Oh my God, I'm going to lose. Damn. There's a lot of great movies. There's a lot of crappy movies I've seen. I might want to do LV clones there from now on. We're going to do LV clones there. I'm going to make a note. DS Full Phoenix. Like the drama. I saw the drama this year. The drama I thought was really, really good. We saw Evil Dead Burn yesterday. It was not good. I did not like it. It did not feel like Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead movies, and it did not at all feel like Evil Dead to me. I was very disappointed in that. But I happen to see a lot of movies that I really, really like, and I think are really good. But yeah, I mean, like, the Blumhouse, A24 style stuff generally does really well. Unfortunately, A24 is being sold to an AI company or some crap like that. We're going to see The Invite today, and I'm hoping it's going to be good. I've been told it's going to be good. But yeah, Ani, I don't like 6th grade. I really hate... I've done high school before. I've done middle school before. I've done, like... I've worked with 6th graders before in special ed. I haven't worked with them, really, in the gen ed environment. I really like 3rd and 4th grade. 3rd and 4th grade is when kids are still, like, semi-impressionable and not, like... They're not going through puberty yet, so they're not all, like, liking each other and being weird and, like, doing stupid shit. 5th and 6th grade is when they start to, like, be annoying hormone monsters, and I just do not like dealing with it. And I already had to deal with enough of it in 5th grade, and now in 6th grade, I'm like, I can't. I just don't want that in my life. 3rd graders, they're like, they laugh at jokes. They're funny. They have personalities. All right, before I do any more of my missions... Yeah, Hondo, I think, is going... Hondo can go to Malachor. I think that the full Phoenix is going to have to stay Lord Vader. So we had to make a note. Let's see what the math is. 730, 633, so that I know what to do with these next couple of battles. We don't actually need any of these. Plus 730, minus 442, 355. Minus 343. We're at a negative 12. Okay. I can do negative 12. Negative 12 is not bad. I don't like high school. Like, with the karate, I deal with, like, a lot of high schoolers. I don't like teenagers. Teenagers annoy me. Let's do Cassian up here. Let's do Cassian. No, Cassian, I think, is bottom, if I remember correctly. Yes, let's do Cassian here. NS bottom. Pretty sure that that is correct. Oh, I already had the team here. Just for light side, I could have changed that. My mods are definitely not as good as users, though, so let's see if the team still does good. Is that from Mcclanky's video? Because I did not have a chance to watch Mcclanky's video. Again, I just have not had the time. It has been a week. Bad Batch goes hard in TV. I don't have them at Relic 9, though. I would love... They're a team that I really would have liked to have taken to Relic 9. But then I kind of lost track of that with the raid and having to bring up the other teams. And now I don't really need those raid points. We will probably get raid news. I thought we were going to get raid news before this era. So I'm hoping we get raid news. We will probably get... Yes, it's going to be... I mean, the next Zeta Protocol is going to be a big episode. There's going to be a lot going on. Yeah, do you know why you can't R9 or you can't auto with Bad Batch? Is because of the stupid Wrecker, mercenary Wrecker, and his stupid AoE getting rid of all of the stacks. there's no reason for them to replace Rise of the Empire, right? The whole point of Rise of the Empire was for them to not have to do that. For them to be able to kind of mess around a little bit more. What are we going to do here? I don't think I can do anything here. I mean, like, I could do Jabba here, but Jabba will do better on Hoth, but I don't really need the Hoth. All right, well, let's see. I'm all over the place today. Rebel fighter, no. Rebel, who do I have? R2, Drogon. We could do Radis, and we're going to do Fulcrum because Mon Mothma is technically a platoon, even though I do it in day 5. Where is Fulcrum? There she is. I just think that they need to tighten up they need to tighten up, what are these? I never even noticed that. The tank, oh, this is for Leia. They need to tighten up the quality of life when it comes to TB, because, like, I shouldn't have to do day 3 of TB. It's so easy. It's just so time consuming. I shouldn't have to do a 5-planet day. It's just a waste of my time. And I've said it before. If you've beaten it, if you have proven that you can consistently do it, it's not content anymore. It's just time. Just gonna post. A guild sim button. I think there's. Hold on. I think that there's a lot of ways that you can do simming in TB, and we've talked about it before. There should be a guild sim button for days where you have, if you have maxed out a day, you should be able to guild sim. And if you haven't maxed out a day, you should be able to combat sim, right? So, like, if I have so, like, day 1, my guild has proven that we can max this. We should be able to, if we have maxed day 1, just hit the button and say sim. And the only thing that it won't sim is a special mission, right? And there are ways that you can go about that, Ani, where you could say, just like they did with Rancor or Tank, you could say if 40 of the 50 members are the same as last time, then boom. Or 45 of the 50 members are the same as last time, then boom. But then a day like day 3, just let me save a team. Like, oh, hey, you 3-starred this node with this team last time. Do you want to sim that combat? Great, sim that combat. It uses those 5 units. Perfect. Awesome. And there should be some restrictions there, right? My belief is, in order to make it like in order to make it fair to like the idea of beaten content, I do believe that a sim button should only exist if your guild has beaten that planet before to 3 stars on the first day that that planet becomes available. So if you 3-star Dathomir on day 3, those sim buttons should be there for me and it'll eat my teams. If I complete Dathomir on day 4, then those sim buttons are not there for me because it's a 2-day thing. So that's like beating the content. Gooseball, good morning. That is our Jar Jar swear jar. We are attempting to drop less F-bombs in the streams and videos. And for every F-bomb that I drop, we add $1 to the swear jar. That includes Twitch with the FU boneses. And at Christmas, whatever money is in that swear jar will be donated to Child's Play. So your sim should reset if you switch guilds. I don't have a great answer to that, Met. My thought would be that the game will still track it for you as beaten, and whether or not it's available to you is based on your new guild's last TB. Sounds incredibly difficult to code. I mean, I'm not a coder. I don't know. Screw you. I'm not a coder. I don't know what is or isn't hard to code, but it's not my job to say, hey, this is hard to code, or hey, this is easy to code. My job is to say, hey, this game mode takes players way too long to play, and here are the ways that you need to go about making it easier to play. And you can take it or leave it. You can say, hey, this is worth it for me to do, or you can say, hey, this is not worth it for me to do. Do you think it won't make them a dime, Furzy? Because I think that a lot of people at the end game are getting very frustrated. And this is a problem, right? And oh my God, hold on. I think that this is a problem with corporations right now in general as we skip out of the game. Right. I was talking to my wife about this. I was in CVS a few weeks ago. I had to pick something up. I went into CVS and I have no problem using the self-checkouts. And it was like, I don't know, I was getting like beef jerky or something. And I walk over to one of the self-checkouts and it takes me 2 minutes to check out. And meanwhile, there's this older lady who needs to check out, but one of her items is age restricted. I know she's an old lady, right? But like the self-checkout is saying, hey, you need to wait for an associate. Except there's nobody up front. There's not a single person up front at the store. Not a single person. Because it's not their fault. It's because CVS as a corporation is saying, and it's not just CVS. Target does this. The grocery store, Stop and Shop does this. Everywhere is doing this now. Dollar Tree does this, but all of their cashiers now need to unpack things too. They're not just cashiers. So this lady is sitting there. There's nobody at the front. The thing is going off and she's just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. And what ends up happening is that customer gets frustrated and now they stop going to CVS, right? Or they stop going to retailers and they start going to online to make things easier for them. And then retailers start saying, well, nobody's coming to my store, so we need to stock less hours for my staff. And then it just becomes a self-fulfilling thing. It's the same thing with Rise of the Empire. It's the same thing with games like this. A lot of people at the end are getting frustrated with the time commitment. Almost every single person that quits, at least from my experience, they message me and they say, this game is taking up too much of my time now, and I just need to get rid of it because it's taking up way too much time for me. And these are not free-to-play players. These are spenders, right? These are people. Moonborn quit the game because the game was taking too much time. He was wailing on characters, right? I had 3. My guild leader was a major whale, and he quit a month ago because the game was taking up too much of his time. It is consistently that the game is taking too much time in game modes that I have beaten and completed, and I no longer want to participate in that. Right? So it may not be like, oh, hey, this specific thing will make them more revenue, but it very much can be, hey, this specific thing can stop us from bleeding revenue. And that is something that a lot of places are just not considering. Whether it's a corporation, whether it's a retailer, whether it's a game, everybody thinks about how do we directly earn money, but they do not think about how do we make sure the money coming in continues to be money coming in, right? That is a huge metric that people do not track for their stock price. And it is one of the reasons why 6 months later, CEOs and executives go, why isn't this thing working? Because you're not hiring enough staff. Because people are frustrated with the customer experience. So they're going somewhere else now. They're going to other games that are not giving them that same experience. Anyway, this has been my TED Talk on my disagreement with the direct money line thing, right? So there. I'll go back into the game. I can't get past level 110. What should I do as a free to play? What's the question? If you can't get past level 110, then you stay at level 110. And I don't mean that to be a dick. I just mean if that's as far as you can get, that's as far as you go, right? I need a question. It's everywhere, man. Already, it is everywhere right now. Everywhere you go, that is the thing. Like if you walk into Target right now, God, we're going back to the TED Talk. If you go into Target right now, like everything is under lock and key. Almost everything you have to buzz to get. Nobody wants to buzz to get a $5 item. I understand shrink. I understand theft. I worked in loss prevention. I worked in loss prevention in a white collar area, a high cost of living, very affluent area. And teenagers in those areas love to steal because they're bored. There was constant theft. But if you lock everything up and you only have 4 people working and those 4 people are doing something, you have made it incredibly difficult for people to get the items that they want. If you want to lock up the majority of your store, then you need to go back to like general stores of the past where you say, hey, what do you need? I'm going to go get that for you. And then a person goes and gets everything for you. You need to do something. You either need to go all or nothing, because when you go in the middle, people go, man, this is boring. Dark Previous, I agree with you that special missions should not be simmable. I fully agree with that. All right, what are we doing here? Let's see. Did you guys have Egnards flipping out on your bingo card for today? Sure. And listen, Fast Eddie, this is why I love auto. Like, some people go like, oh, you'd be so much better if you like didn't auto, if you manual. Yes, but you know what? At auto, I am at 90% efficiency. And if 90% efficiency, oh, right, I don't think I can auto with this team because of the mechanics. At 90% efficiency, then my game time is still high, but a lot of it is not spent actually looking at the game. At the end game, are most planets getting 3-starred in a day, not even requiring CMs to complete? No. At the end game, yeah, day 1, I can ignore day 1. Day 2, I can ignore day 2. Day 3, I cannot ignore day 3. You know, it's getting close. Day 3 is getting closer to being ignorable, but that's not going to be the case anymore once guilds start to need to get to higher stars and they need to start doing Zepho in day 3. instead of as a 2-day thing. But day 4 is a 5-planet day. I need to do every single battle on day 4. Day 5 is a 4-planet day. I need to do every single planet on day 5. And you can say, oh, Relic 9 planets, like, not a big deal. Man, if you're in the end game, you know that you need combats on day 6. I have to do combats on day 6. Day 4, 5, and 6 are incredibly important at the higher level for getting points. Oh, I guess I can auto this. This is nice. We're gonna have to add this to my TB teams. If you're in a guild doing like 46, 47, trying to get to 50 stars, those preloads from day 4, 5, and 6 are disgustingly important. Goosebald, man, I gotta tell you, you know it's bad when I go back to the face cam, right? Because that's Egg Talks, and Egg Talks is like, it just happens. It's a vibe for that moment where I see something and I go, nope, we got to talk about this. All right, let's add that squad in there. Day 6, Galactic Republic is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. NS top Wampa. He refuses to do this planet. He loves slaughtering Wampas. All right, so let's see my day 5. No, so it would apply to planets in a single day, right? So yes, so Furzy, right? I get what you're saying now. So it would apply to planets in a single day, but here, so like my day 3, it would eat up all of my planets. So day 3 now becomes easy, which is awesome. Day 4, my day 4, I would not have to do any battles on Kessel because we 1-day Kessel. I would not have to do any battles on Lothal in my day 4. So that would free up my entire day 4, which would be really, really nice. On day 5, right now it would do nothing on my day 5, but next event it would free up my Vandor on day 5, right? It would not free up Haven class, but that's big deal stuff. 2 planets on day 4, that's a half hour. Not having to do Vandor sucks, especially the Jabba mission. It takes forever to do that Jabba mission. And as we move up, it'll help more, especially during Hell Week when you're trying to do like when you're like trying to finish up Conquest as well. What should we do here? Let's just add. Yeah, so no, we're just gonna add some light side guys here. Let's see what happens. It's so awful doing that. Now, granted, if you have the full Jabba team, it can be autoable, but it is still a longer mission. So I was thinking about bonus planets today and this morning when I was naked in the shower. And I've come to the conclusion that because of where the game is right now, the only way that they'll add a bonus planet is if it's a day 9 or if it's an R9 or R10 planet. They're not going to add a Relic 5 planet. They're not going to add a Relic 7 planet. They're not going to add a Relic 8 planet because it's too easy to get those platoons. So I think that they're going to be heavily focused on something that's Relic 9. I think going into day 6 would be an interesting place to add it. I know some people have suggested having a day 1 bonus planet, but it's a Relic 9 bonus planet. My argument, and it's like, uncompletable, like it has an infinite completion. But I think the problem with that is if they add a lower planet, if they add like a day one lower planet, then what ends up happening is it forces you to complete those battles again, right? So if they did a day one bonus planet that was like an infinite planet, now I need to make everybody in my guild do day one in order to maximize those points. And that would suck. But I know that that is a suggestion that some people have kind of put forth. I don't like the suggestion. I don't know. We'll see, Knights and E. We'll see if this app gives me back my six-pack abs. Zeg used to have six-pack abs. They're not coming to my TED Talks. I've been told that there are people from CG that watch some of my stuff very closely because I've given them stuff in the past, a lot of ideas in the past. Unfortunately, right now, Meathead and I are on a break. I'm annoyed with him, so I am keeping myself from earning meat bucks. My premium ab subscription. I was telling Kadar yesterday that right now Meathead and I are seeing other people. There we go. I'm going to switch. What Datacron? Are you silent static? My God, come on. Do you really have to ask that question? Which Datacron am I most excited for? Come on. Come on. Like, I am so... I mean, I have my Jar Jar Cron. I am super excited for Jar Jar Cron. My only problem with it, unfortunately, is that because it is 3v3, and Gungans, they're not amazing in 3v3. I'm going to have to really wait before we unlock the full power of the Gungans. Right. I mean, there's nothing I can do here. I don't think that anything is happening here. Maybe something like that'll get me one of two. I need SLKR to be at Relic 9. Dude, I am pumped for my Jar Jar Cron. BKM is the worst team. No, I mean, I don't think that they're very great outside of like specific, very highly specific things personally, but I think BKM is just fine. You're close to unlocking all of the GLs. What should be the process of relicking up? I'm going to need you to clarify. Who should you relic? Who should you relic up first? I mean, always go for something that gives you something. Right? So like Hondo gives you Smuggler's Run 3, so that becomes important. No, my Gungans My Gungans have to live on defense because part of my whole thing as bomb... I didn't think that this was going to beat this, but it looks like it might. Part of my thing is... Part of my thing is that my opponent has to deal with my Gungans. Like, that is part of being Bombad Gungalorian Egnards, is that my opponent has to deal with my Gungans. Like, I am pumped. I did not roll stats on it. I need to. I don't have the reroll stuff for it right now. But I've got my Gungan Kron. I've got my Phoenix Retribution, Phalanx Retribution. I have my speed up, right? I mean, protection would be nice, but really I think crit damage a little bit more than that. But I don't have any reroll material right now. I just wanted GG to look up ISB mods and saw they added a new feature. Did you see the meta overview there? I did not. Let's see. Let's just say Dedra. Dedra.gg. Mods. Meta overview. No. No, I think I have seen this, but I haven't looked into it. I haven't tested it yet, Immoral Emperor. But you know what? I've got War Tools, which is a beta.gg feature, and it is beautiful, and I'm excited for it and finding out what exactly gets used. Do I have a Relic 10 Satil? I do. I did bring her to Relic 10. She is one of my few. Right? If we look at my Relic 10s, there are very few of them. I have more. Where is it? It's over here. I have my Gungans are obviously up there on the top. They make up the majority. Relic up GLs or only or the whole team? I think personally, if, Relic 8 is the new Relic 7 for GLs, all GLs should be at least Relic 8. If you're in the end game, I think all GLs should really be Relic 9. And I recognize I am not there yet either. I've just been very busy with other things within my roster. I have a few more that really do need to get to Relic 9, but they haven't been priorities. Obviously, JML will not go to Relic 9, but if Jedi Training Leia is good enough, I'll take him immediately to Relic 10. I think whether you should just do the GLs or whole teams really depends on where your guild is. If your guild is in high-level TB, full teams are very important. Berm, man, that's what I'm saying, dude. It sucks when you have to put so much time, effort, and energy, and especially doing this new screen time thing. I've really, really been noticing how much time the game takes when I have to set 30 minutes of screen time, and it's only 5 of my battles out of my 20 frickin' battles that I have to do. All right, what are we doing next? We have the raid needs to get done because the raid ends today. So it is 8. Let me just check this real quick. Slide through. We need more mod stuff in that store because MK1 does nothing. Defense. I'll take it. Nah, I should have waited. I didn't realize that was a crit damage set. I wouldn't have taken that. It didn't have offense on it. Oh well, not a big deal. Nothing. I'm going to take these. I'm starting to run low on those. All right, let's get this raid going. Look, should you Relic 10 Lord Vader? I think Lord Vader is one of those teams that is pretty solid at Relic 10 because Lord Vader his whole thing is ramping mastery. It's not something I'm going to do, but it is, if you're insisting on a Relic 10 team, I do think that is one of the better priority ones. Which I told Shadow he should take his whole team to Relic 10, and I'm pretty sure he listened to me. Don't want my guild to get annoyed, spamming me to do the raid. Yo, Noid. That's a game from 1990, 95. Da-da-da. No, he doesn't need it. A lot of characters don't need Relic 10 right now. M3 man, you are right. I saw you before had said something. Listen, part of the fun has to do with making it a thing. If I said the F word constantly, the swear jar would not be fun. It would lose all of like the idea of like, oh yeah, he actually said the F word and now donates $1. You know as well as I do that we love children's charities here, that we do everything we can to support them. We actually had Child's Play reach out to us at the beginning of the year. One of their like reach out people emailed me and they were like, hey, we saw you did a $1,000 donation tagged as Egnards 2 years in a row. What is that? And I explained to them the whole thing with Egnards and the streams that we do and like the charity event that we do. And she had said, and maybe we'll try to do this. She had said that it was really cool and that at the end of the year when we do that, if we wanted to coordinate with her to have her come on to stream and maybe answer some questions about Child's Play and the things that they were doing, to reach out. So we might do that. And we'll do like a full like charity stream with like a representative from Child's Play on there, which I think was awesome. No, I don't want to be fighting with Sin again today. I really don't. R10 is just for fun right now, honestly. There's so few needs for R10. So few needs for R10. Yeah, man, that's where all of my that's where all of my charity money goes is to kids charities. Well, you could save up your points and drop some FU bones into the stream. Isn't it funny though, like when we like take over a game and we become like the best thing in the world? Like, it's so crazy. Like last year playing that game and then we coordinated with that other guild and we ended up like being in this weird situation with them where they took over our guild afterwards and ended up becoming the top guild on the server. Oh my god. I still need this. I'm not even paying attention. I really need to pay attention. I hope that we can do it again this year. But with Streamlabs having Stream Elements having issues with money, I don't see any sponsorships on there anymore. So we might have to find a new way to do some kind of sponsored game this year, which is a little sad. But we'll find a way to do something. We've become diplomatic representatives. I've just told you that I'm in a lover's quarrel with Meathead. It's not diplomatic. I yelled at him in DMs and I told him it's crap and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop prioritizing anything. Yeah, that was through Stream Elements before. And they partnered with Twitch. So I'm wondering if that's still going to be a thing. I think there was just a sub that happened, but for some reason, it's not going through my, it's not saying it in my thing, in my, Stream Elements. So I think it's Melee something, but it's not telling me. It's just saying that somebody did it. So I apologize. Can I explain the charity you were talking about? Child's Play is my favorite charity in the world, Silent Static. I talk about it constantly. Um, I don't remember the exact years, but Penny Arcade is a webcomic that people from my generation maybe know very well, but younger people may not know very well. I was never necessarily a fan of Penny Arcade. Like, I didn't really look at it often, but it was a very well-known webcomic. And this was at the same time as this overzealous lawyer who we called Wacky Jackie, Jack Thompson, was trying to ban all violent video games and saying that violent video games produced violent people. And so what Penny Arcade did is they started a charity called Child's Play to kind of show that people, who play games are not violent people, and that we as a community rise up and do these great things for other people. And at the time, before it needed like staff and everything, 100% of the money went to donation goals. Now I think it's around 90%, but that's very good for a charity, because you do have costs associated with it. What Child's Play does is they coordinate with children's hospitals, and they provide for the entertainment needs for kids who have to spend their time in children's hospitals. So, you can donate money and they'll handle it, or you can link up with the children's hospital itself and buy off of their wish lists. And it's basically like, stuffed animals, because each kid gets a stuffed animal that they get to keep, because you can't like reuse stuffed animals because of germs and everything. They buy like video game consoles and like kid friendly games, just so that kids who are stuck in those situations of care in a children's hospital can still be kids, and they can, they're not just stuck in a hospital room. And I think it's a really, really super, super important charity. And I love what they do so very much that every single charity dollar that I ever spend always goes to them. Load my clones. All right, there we go. Screw that guy. Win Child. Yeah, Child's Play is amazing. So I do everything I possibly can to support them. I have always supported them. Undermine Conquest. Yeah, I actually just did it on a friend's account with JML. I did Jedi Master Luke, Jedi Knight Luke, Cassian. If you have him at 4 stars, this guy had him at 4 stars with literally 0 mods on him. Grandmaster Yoda. And I don't remember who I used in the 5th slot. It was probably like Hermit Yoda. And you just spam to Cassian, and I was getting like 20 to 30, no, like 15 to 20 per battle. The thing is that it only procs Undermine if they have speed down, but he does speed down on his basic. So the first one won't ever proc an Undermine. But that's how I ended up getting it on that account for him. Don't tempt me. Listen, M3, man, you're welcome to. That is what it's there for, obviously. I wouldn't put my money where my mouth was if I wasn't willing to do it, like. And Egnards always does what an Egnards says that he is going to do. Oh, you look at that. Berm, I don't know why, but Twitch is being weird about telling me when things are happening. So, Berm, I apologize. You're right. It does do something. Fuck you. Please track them for me so I can add. Um, Fuck you Bones is all about our friend and well-natured, I don't even know what to call him, rodent or strange little savant Bones, who is a fucking, I should have said that, parental advisory right here, is a fucking piece of shit. He will be going to he's a goddamn fucking pinecone eater. He will be going to Star Wars celebrations next year, so we are looking forward to meeting him and actually finding out what Bones is even about, because he's such a fucking idiot. And basically what we said to him was, we are so done with your fucking shit and this like canned chicken bullshit that you have going on, that we will go out and we are going to buy you like a good meal, and you're gonna have to fucking eat it because your fucking third grade palate of food needs to just do better. And he has told us that he will only eat a high quality meal if we try canned chicken. And that's how much of a goddamn fucking moron he is that he is being offered a high quality meal and he is refusing to fucking eat it on the basis of us eating poverty food. And I have no fucking problem with poverty food. I eat shitty ass like ramen just out of nostalgia. It is amazing to me. But holy fucking shit. My God. All right, I'm done. How many is that? How many? I see 11s. I see 9s. We'll just do 11. We'll do 11. Fine. You guys win. 12. 12. It's 12. Okay. Fine. There's going to be no Christmas presents this year. No, we're not just adding more. Just for the sake of adding more. 65. I can't trust you guys to count. I'm going to have to start keeping track. Sorry, Dylan. Apologize. Your son, silent static. Your son had, look, man, I'm happy your son is hopefully healthy now. But that's the whole thing, man. Like, I have nothing against cancer charities. I have nothing against like cancer research. I think that those are all super important things. And a lot of people donate a lot of money to it. But I think a lot of people do not think about like how much the entertainment benefit really helps those kids. And so I really try to promote this specific charity, because while everyone else is donating to all of that stuff, like, don't forget that kids need to be kids. Is that M3? Is that half of a dollar? We'll do 1850. Joe Pesci. I'm thinking trains, planes, and automobiles. Gross. I have an R9. Oh, that's gross. Now that I have an R9 sauna, she's going to clog that up now. That's what I'm saying, man. And it's just nice that to be able to have something where these kids can like forget about that. No, 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 Ater. Everyone said 11. I actually put 12 there. We ain't trying this crap. Oh, gross. Oh no, I put Sana in there. Oh, I get the purpose of autofill, but I wish it were a check mark. So like while I'm doing the raid, I can say no, I don't want autofill. Why R9 Sana? Because one of my guildmates is on vacation this week, and he does not have Wi-Fi where he is. He's out in like bumfuck nowhere. Yeah, it was worth saying that. And he tried to coordinate with me to give me access to his account, but like an idiot, he told me about it way too late, and we couldn't coordinate a time. So in order to get that last platoon, I did a Sana. There we go. What do I think of the New Republic team? I think they're going to be a B+ team. I don't think they're going to be amazing, at least until we have the GL. You know, the GL obviously will be an amazing team. But I think they're going to be kind of like the B+, like very usable, very useful. And we're talking about post DC, because the DC always, like, that is the team. I think that DC is going to make them a monster. But after the DC, I see them being very usable, but not being at the top of the meta. Okay. What is my new streaming schedule? My streaming schedule is exactly the same as it always has been. Look, I don't like the new change, but the new change benefits me quite a bit. I'm gonna go to you. Which means that I will have GAC will happen during brunch now. You know, I very specific. Oh my god, ew! I very specifically do not stream during the week because I want to spend time with my wife. I already spend enough time not at home. So I'm still gonna stream only Sundays unless she's away. There we go. Perfect. I got what I need. But now we'll get to do GAC. Cheaters are back in Coliseum. You mean the dumb cheaters are back in Coliseum? The smart cheaters have always been there. I will tell you that you know, CG has been pretty good about banning them pretty quickly. It's obviously the weekend though, so you're not going to see that happening. Let's see. Got to catch up on the chat here. At Twitch and you've heard it 24 times. Does that count? It does not. At least long-term relevance is okay. I know we should have clipped it. Blah 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 blah. Berm, I'm around now in the mornings. I've been playing XCOM to practice for Zero Company, but I am around in the mornings now. If you want to play some Heroes of the Storm, I know you've been playing Magic. I do have MTG Arena. I'm not a consistent Magic player, so I don't have like amazing decks. I don't have anything like super interesting in MTG, but I do play it a little bit. Oh, we have to load our base loadout. Silly me. Load our base loadout. Yeah, it's not. I'm not happy with, and we don't even know what the new schedule is because Meathead is being a chode and not understanding that he has been very eh, about about his word choices. Streaming Swugga is, it's my thing because this is what I like to do. But I think anyone who streams Swugga, it's a labor of love. Um, More than anything, you're gonna get much bigger somewhere else. You're gonna have a bigger audience somewhere else if you're trying to actually stream and be relevant. I'm not trying to stream and be relevant. I'm trying to use you guys as my therapy. M3 has been watching Berm like every day, play whatever games. M3 is like, I will watch you play Hello Kitty Online Adventures. I know you're doing brunch, but I thought you might get a kick out of this. And how obtuse it is. It's an unofficial announcement. Next, new GL is solid in my opinion. Next era is going to be fun. The following era is going to be bananas. Okay. Thank you, Meathead, for all of those interesting things being said. This is my therapy. This does. No, you know what? I'm actually. Can I tell you there is something that really annoys me about roster reviews, and it's really been frustrating me lately. Like a lot, to the point like I'm actually like legitimately super annoyed by this when it comes to roster reviews. So a lot of content creators do. Let me start Conquest first, and then we'll talk because Conquest is super easy, right? So 138. Okay, 138. Let's go into Conquest. Oh, what's event? There's nothing going on in the events, and then we'll talk about what's been annoying me about roster reviews. You think it's for sure Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? You are just being overly hopeful. Even Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is still brunch because it'd be Saturday night into Sunday morning. No matter what the schedule is, it will benefit brunch. But again, the original post said pushed back, then it said pushed forward, and then he said it's to give you 24 hours to mod your marquee characters. But the problem is, if it's a Monday night lock, it actually gives you a week to do your characters because they won't be available until after lock. So he's been saying some very irregular and inconsistent things. Okay. I do need datacrons, so we're gonna run some here. All right, so here's what's been annoying me about roster reviews lately, and probably for the last year. Now, most content creators charge an actual fee for their roster reviews, or they put you on a queue that takes 4 years to get through, and you'll never get a roster review. And that's fine because it does take time, it does take an effort, it does take energy. It is helpful. I don't disagree with charging a fee. I do all of my roster reviews outside of my premium members who, do pay me just specifically, but not specifically for a review. I do them all on a tip basis, right? So it's free, and if you feel like sending me $5-10, then great, then you do. Awesome, love it, it's helpful. And I try to make sure every roster review is never behind by more than 2 to 3 weeks, right? I really prioritize making sure that reviews are timely to help people out. And I have gone on other servers. I've gone on the event server. I've gone on Nooch's server, and I've seen a lot of people say, hey, man, Egnards does amazing reviews, and they're free. Cool, fine. They're not free. They're tipped, but cool, fine. 90% of the time, I do not get a tip for a roster review. 90% of the time, they are free. And that is not what bothers me. What bothers me is that the only thing I truly ask for from people is that they leave a review. I literally have said the only thing that I really ask from people is, please, if you are not going to send a tip, please leave a review. And I would say that 75% of the time, people do not leave a review. It takes 60 fucking seconds to leave a review after I spend 10 to 15 minutes with your account. And so many people don't that it really, really frustrates me. I did it. I already added the +1. Hater said move forward one day means 24 hours later, which means normally when talking about something like you said, you saying you are pushing your stream back would mean later and forward meaning sooner. That's what I'm saying, Grax. And I tried to explain this. I tried to explain this to him. I tried to say that push forward typically means that you are it's happening sooner, and that just like bi-weekly can mean both twice a week or every other week. And he still just insisted on not being clear. Shadow, you and I just link up and have like an hour-long conversation about your roster. Leave a review where? So when you get a roster review from me, afterwards I tag you, and I literally point you to where to go. Like, I point you to the spot that says, hey, go to this place, follow the thing in review testimonial. I literally link the channel for testimonials. And still, I'd say 75% of the time, people do not leave one. And it actually bothers me. Well, exactly. Kadar doesn't understand the English language then. Ooh, we got another Sarlacc pit. Another hit of the Sarlacc pit. Nice. We should review all of the reviews that you have gotten, Snorlax. I just want one more Datacron, and then I'll go to the other one. Yeah, it is the thing that kind of disheartens me. Like when I help people, and I'm like, all right, man, I just spent 15 minutes going over your account for you, and like people don't read the message and go, oh, let me just like, because the reviews, one, they're testimonial. Come on, just another Datacron. They're a testimonial for people to see whether my reviews are good or not. But they're also a way for me to see if I missed something. If you feel like I didn't do something that would have really helped you. Reviewing the review segment, kind of like Conan. He has a review the reviewer segment on his podcast. That's what I'm saying, Grax. And like, just, you saw that it's confusing people. Just clarify it. When is GAC? Next Sunday, there will be a GAC here, right on Brunch. You can't even send a message in the Sarlacc pit. You're right. You cannot send a message in the Sarlacc pit. So here's the thing. The Sarlacc pit auto bans you. And the idea is that only bots would post in the Sarlacc pit. Now, the problem is we also have some stupid people. But what I have noticed with bots is they never take the decent human being or the what is it called? Chaotic chaotic neutral, chaotic evil, or whatever tag. Lawful evil tag. So I've blocked those 2 tags from posting in the Sarlacc pit to prevent the majority of people from getting auto-banned by testing their fate. And so far, we have not been hit by a bot that has taken those tags. So far it has worked. Well, that's what I did, Berm. But the idea is that bots post, like bots spam post. And so they post in there and then it auto bans them from the entire Discord. Let me just code something up. So I blocked any of the very common tags that bots don't usually take. Yes, and that's why I'm mad at not at Ani. I'm not mad at Ani. That's why I'm mad at Meathead, because I do a lot for him. He asks me for a lot. I do give him my perspective on a lot of things and breakdowns on a lot of things. And the fact that, like, if he had said, I can't answer that question, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to give that information. One, I'd say, why? That doesn't make any sense. But two, you know, I would say, oh, okay, I get it. But being cheeky to me just was so obtuse, and it really annoyed me and felt like a waste of my time. Morning, PayPal. We're having a great brunch. This is actually, there's 83 people watching. This is the biggest one in quite a while. I think our record is 101 people on stream, but we haven't been near that in a while. Yeah, they always pick the bones roll because the bones roll has a specific thing. So they always pick that one, and that one can obviously post there. So the honeypot works beautifully. I'm happy about it. Why am I not getting any? How many? I only got one. Oh, I got two. All right. Well, all right. I need materials too, so I do need materials. Yeah, we got to break some records. Did I explain that the conversation was 47 squats and bleep? My ass hurts. I did not. I didn't. I was done. And he knows. I told him that I'm done. I'm not wasting any more time on it. I'm just gonna find out on Monday or Tuesday, and it's annoying. If anyone didn't fill out the form yet, though, I did. I was very curious about the community and where the community stands on this change. So I did put out a Google form. You do need to sign into Google. I don't collect your email address. I'm not using your email address for anything. But I want to see how the community feels about the change and how it will affect them, either positively, negatively, or they don't care. So if you didn't fill out the form yet, I would love more responses. We have about 500 responses to it so far. Send it to your guild, put it in your guild Discord. I really would like to get that even higher to get a better cross-section of the community to understand where they are with the GAC change. Because although it will benefit me, I do not think it is a positive change, but I want to know how it'll feel other people. The reality, Snorlax, man, is we did the Gungies. We had about 2,000 votes, and I have all of those email addresses if I even wanted to. I I have made my opinion on the change public. I made it on Reddit, and you have to know that. I made it on Zeta Protocol as well. But I do want to know if you know, other people feel the same way as I do, or if I'm just wrong. I vote for Mcclanky. There's no Mcclanky option. That's what I'm saying, Grax. Like, roll over the era a day early. That gives you 24 hours. You should not be changing the schedule like this. And I saw someone actually mentioned instead pushing the era out a week. So after this era, delaying the next era for 1 week. And I know it sucks for revenue for a week, but it would only have to happen the one time. And if they did that, it would solve the problem too, because then the era will always end. The era will always end on off week. PayPal, I don't want you to vote like me, man. I want you guys to tell me your actual views. Do not delay it. It would be a one-time thing to delay an era one time. It would never have to be delayed again. And it would solve the problem without making any major changes. Shadow is always having a meltdown. We call it his swugga period. There is always the moment the Journey Guide character comes out, Coliseum loses any interest. It's no longer interesting once the Era character comes out. Oh yeah, Berm. Star Wars Celebration sold out in like hours. And what's funny is me, Phil, Kate Gaming, Old Man Logan, Avant. I didn't think I'd be able to get tickets because I had to teach classes. So we were all relying on Kate to buy us all tickets. But we all popped into queue. And my queue actually hit very quickly because the queue is random. So my queue hit like super, super fast and I was available. So I ended up having to put everybody's tickets on my card. And everybody paid me back. But now all of their tickets are in my hands. And they're going to have to be nice to me if they want their tickets. Honestly, Berm, you probably... I don't know what they're going for on the market right now, secondhand market. I'm sure they're pretty expensive. I told my wife she's coming with me. I actually have zero interest in Star Wars Celebrations. I am not going to wait in line. I'm only going on Saturday. I'm not going to be waiting in lines for panels. I'm going to walk around the convention center and see some cool stuff, maybe buy one or two things. The whole reason I'm going is because I thought it would be really cool to meet people. Again, we've talked about this. I love meeting people. I love talking to people that I've talked to before. So I am mostly going to talk to people, and I know that some of the people in the community are talking about doing like renting out a bar and doing stuff outside of the convention. And that is more where I'm going to be spending my time. Blackmailer. Yeah. If you can't blackmail your friends, you know? I don't get starstruck. I don't like I've seen I walked right by Liam Neeson like 15 years ago and just let him pass by. Like I don't care. I should just scalp my train. I should scalp my ticket for a few $100s and still show up just to go to the thing. It'll pay for my tickets because it was very expensive with the flights and everything. Soft to flirt. Expand the circle. No, like, listen, if I was at the convention and I was with a bunch of friends that wanted to and saw him walking around and got a picture, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I want to be in the picture. I'm not waiting in a line to talk to somebody. I'm not going to bother somebody on my own. What's up, Nitro Beat? How's it going, man? I'm starting to get used to this change and being able to like see things the right way, being able to read chat while also playing the game. We might keep it this way. Well, it's Conquest. There's no super gameplay in Conquest. Ba-da-da-da. Yeah, I don't know. They're just people. When I used to go to the martial arts super show, I'd go with like coworkers, and I have a lot of pictures with like top MMA and martial arts people. And the only reason I have those pictures, like I have a picture of me and Billy Blanks from the 90s, Tybo. The only reason I have those pictures is because coworkers were like, we have to go to get a picture right now. Why are you walking out of this convention center after that workout? We have to get this picture. Yeah, I'm good, actually. You don't have to. I'm okay. I mean, like, if I had kids, I would want pictures for them with like, characters from Disney. If I go, I probably not going to unless, you know, my wife wants them. I forgot to put on pre-roll ads on YouTube for this stream. Shame. There goes my $1.50. Oops. Oh well. No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying for me, like, just not my thing. Do I have my Jar Jar Kron? Of course I have my Jar Jar Kron. No, but you still get paid for Turbo on Twitch, even with the no ads. You get like a percentage based on the stream watch time or whatever. I don't know. I don't care that much. It's a net negative. That's so true. It is a net negative. I have lost money on this stream with the charity. That is fair. It's alright. It's for kids. If I had kids, I should have talked to Liam Neeson. I don't know. He's like 85, and I've heard that he shits himself constantly. I don't know if I want to get close to him anymore. Can you objectively say whether Gungans are worth taking past R5 for K2 player? Well, first of all, if you're K2 player, I think your minimum is Relic 7, so yes. I don't think that they're a priority for most people. I do not think that there's something that most people need to take up right now. But if you have the team and the team is actively usable, they should be a minimum of Relic 7. And that is the case for any team that a K2 or above player is using. I think that they are a great like B+ team that can definitely overperform, but you really have to invest highly in their mods for them to overperform the way mine does. Do I think everyone needs to take them to R9? No. But I also like them at R9 because they also highly overperform in territory battles with the Tarple's Omicron. And I think that there is so much value in that for players because it's an auto. Oh my god, for a 1-day ticket or for a 4-day ticket? For a 1-day ticket, man, I should sell my 2 tickets, my wife and I's tickets, and just show up at all of the after events. Oh my god. These are $99 tickets. That's disgusting. No, R7 no. R7 is your minimum because listen, here you're right in the sense that like Gungans live or die on the basis of the shield generator. Shield generator dies, you've lost. So in that sense, yes, you don't need a high Boss Nass or Jar Jar. But in the same sense, first of all, R6 is your minimum for top Datacron usage, and every team should be able to have that. And second of all, if you are able, even with the shield generator gone, having a little bit less Relic Delta issue, you know, you're probably still going to lose. But if you can steal an extra banner or 2 by keeping a priority character alive, you should definitely be doing it. Yeah, and I bought Phil and his wife 4-day tickets. Man, I should sell his tickets. Xander, can I tell you that my actual disappointment from that day of seeing him and going for beers with him was actually that after I paid the tab, let it be known that I took out my credit card and I paid the tab. We'll ignore the fact that he did Venmo me his half. But after I paid the tab, I forgot my credit card on the table. And I ended up having to like cancel it and get a new card, and I was very annoyed by that. Or he stole the card. One of those 2 things happened. R10 Wampa are selling the tickets. That is a good one. I'll have to bring that to him. Man, I gotta know for next time. I'm buying celebration tickets next year. Not even going. Just scalp that crap. How many Wampa toys were bought between noticing and canceling? Yeah, you know, when I told him the next day, I was like, dude, I left my my card there and I had to cancel it, he seemed really disappointed. So I think he definitely took it, and he was upset that I noticed. Right, this team's not really doing what I want it to. Berm, I'm around all week during the mornings, man. I'm gonna be playing some XCOM, but I'm happy to jump into a game. I need to do my exercises. No, but this is on my computer. I don't have to do that for mobile. Yeah, but it let it through, Berm. I basically let everything through on Twitch. I have mods on Twitch and on YouTube specifically just to let everything through when Twitch or YouTube try to block things. It's offensive to say you're leaving. Egg doesn't want to know you're leaving. He wants to know when you'll be back. You'll hit me. What will happen to roster reviews if GAC is on a brunch day? You know, that's actually a great question because there will be weeks that there's more going on. But, you know, TW brunch, where we have nothing going on, will be more interesting. I think that we're still going to be able to do roster reviews, but they might fall more behind. You know, again, other creators let those things fall behind weeks and weeks and weeks, and they don't really care to get them up, and they don't care if they're really far behind. I generally do care. They might not. You're watching for Storm. Storm was on during midweek brunch. People watch these brunches like during the middle of the week. They're like, all right, I just got caught up on brunch. And I'm like, why were you watching that? Aren't there better things to watch? And in a world with like Fallout and The Pit and, well, House of Dragons is okay. But like House of Dragons and Only Murders in the Building, you're watching me? Why? Like, that doesn't make sense. That's silly. Silly goose behavior. I think the whole idea, like live streams, the whole fun of it is the spectacle during. I haven't watched season 2 of Fallout. I'm trying to convince my wife to watch season 1 so that she'll watch season 2 with me. I haven't watched X-Men. I haven't watched any X-Men, what is it, X-Men 97. But I've heard it's really good, and I grew up watching that show. So, like, yeah, I want to watch it. Like, who's watching VODs of brunch? Come on. It's that sultry voice. Listen, I will read audiobooks. It's my... No, don't leave Twitch. It is my morning voice. While it's still scratchy. You got hard, CT Drill? It was a fairly easy conquest. I got it on... I was in maintenance mode. I got my red crate Friday. but I was in maintenance mode Wednesday, which is basically just like finishing up some bullcrap feats. And then on the other account I'm doing Conquest on right now, he's at 615 out of 630. And he's I don't know if he's, I think he's free to play. I'm not sure if it's like just very, very light spender, but I'm pretty sure he's free to play. And we're at 615 right now. So it has not been a hard brunch, hard Conquest. Especially with, man, when they changed Rebel Network, which was a super positive thing. I've been giving CG a lot of crap lately, but the change to Rebel Network, when they changed that to Breach, that makes every feat in Sector 4 basically a Mandalorian feat. And that just made it so easy to do Sector 4. It was like a beautiful thing. They could have made it anything else, but they were like, you know what? We're just going to give them like the easiest possible feat for this. Yeah, Snorlax free to play. My ass. That's all thanks to Rebel Network. Just cheese the breach. I did. I mean, with Mandalorians, you didn't need to cheese it. Right? I've said this before. Like, hard cheese versus soft cheese. I really want to put... I really want to put together a video on Conquest. Like, really talking about my Conquest philosophy. Because I've seen some people make, like, some really crazy mistakes. A few days ago, we were talking in members chat on Discord. And we were talking about how... Or Phil and I were talking about how... we use JMK Cat as our delete team. And the delete team is your team that you use against teams that you're not gonna farm for feats. So like against Old Republic. Old Republic is stupid to farm most feats on. They're really annoying to play. So it doesn't make sense to farm feats on them. You just want to get past them. So you bring in JMK Cat. Gas used to be a delete team. That, you know, now you really don't need to delete them. But you would just bring in JMK Cat and delete Gas and move over. And somebody was saying that they use Leia as their delete team. And it just blew my mind. For someone who has all the GL, like, why would you use Leia as a delete team when she's so useful for feats? You want to save Leia for feats. It doesn't make sense to waste her stamina on something like that. Now, if you're a mid-game account, that's different if you only have, like, 3 GL, obviously. But we're talking about an end-game account. And it just blows my mind that some people just don't understand the smart way of deleting teams and moving on and managing your stamina to make sure you can do as many feats as possible. Stranger is another great delete team because there is nobody on a Stranger team that you're going to use for anything. That's not a bad shout, actually. I might start using that, man. JMK, there's usually not feats for JMK. Stranger Maul, Star Killer, there's really not that much for feat acquisition there. So that's another really smart delete team. Like, it's just understanding and managing what types of characters are too important to your roster to waste their stamina. You know, like SLKR right now is your if you have DS Ray, is your de facto survive feat. In Sector 1, when everyone else was using ISB to keep KX alive, and I was using SLKR with KX and Vel to make sure I could get the Vel battles done and the KX battles done. GM is another great team. There's very rarely going to be a feat acquisition with GM. Like, that's what you want to look for, is you want to look for a team that is very rarely going to be beneficial for feats. Best delete team is the friends we made along the way. Especially with, like, Zealous Ambition, Leia. Man, Zealous Ambition, Leia, Captain Rex. Beautiful, beautiful delete team. Why delete teams when you have CLS and apply debuff on basic tune with a DDK node for free feats? Because that doesn't answer the question, Snorlax. Right? That's the question is, you know, how do you bypass nodes that you're stuck going against when those nodes are not great for getting feats? And those are the teams that you just are so painful to fight that you just want to get that team over with, or that battle over with. So you use a delete team. But again, buff disruption with CLS on a DDK node, you have to get a DDK node. You don't always get a DDK node. But I don't see the point in doing those. You can't always go around them, Snorlax. Sometimes it's the only thing in your way. I like to naturally move through a sector. I do not like sitting there for 5 minutes on manual and like playing a battle to maximize feats. I like to be able to naturally move through. Seabane, another great shout as a 2-man team. I love this, guys. Like, this is great. This is like good talk. I'm gonna write this crap down. GM. Because I didn't even think about these things. Seabane, Stranger, another great one. GM with assist on leader turn disc is OP. Yes, it's OP, and that turns them into a delete team. Right? A delete team is the team that doesn't get feats. It's the team you use to just get through things. And when you use an important team for that, it's just silly. All right, I'm going to go back to Datacrons for these last couple of battles so we can get disappointed by not getting any Datacrons. See when our movie is today. 1:15. Okay. Plenty of time, but I gotta mow the lawn today too. We do have reviews as well. Oh, no more Datacrons. What a surprise. What a surprise. Do we have any better teams for the SLKR? Oh, look at that. Still nothing. Am I bulking on level 6 attacker crons? I don't do a lot of rerolls on crons because I don't spend money on my datacrons. I just roll what I get. Once I get enough crons, I might go to that node and try to get more of them. So we're just kind of hoping for attacker crons with stacking offense. But that's a hope and a prayer. We're going to see how many of them we can get. I believe I have all of the like roll important crons that I need for like actual level 9s. Right? Because I have an Ugnaught, I have a Cobb, and I have a Jar Jar. This is a tank cron I don't really care about. So we're going to hope. If you want cheese videos, like hard cheese videos, I'm going to tell you, I recommend Vexatron. He really goes for like the hard cheese stuff. Of course, all Tankrons. I do not really go into a lot of the hard cheese stuff because I don't like doing those. Ew. At least. My God. All tank, all tank, all tank. Everything's tank. I have heard Tassanex told me that level 9 Nebik could possibly be better for him as well. Well, I'm not going to roll those tank crons right now because I want more attacker crons. And I have a nice stacking offense there. This one for LV. Stacking offense for Cobb. This I'd like to roll as well. Otherwise, I think we're done with in-game stuff. Which means I will be right back. And then we will get into today's roster reviews. Just switch this over to here.
roster reviews. Egnards is having a break and taking a roster reviews. Talking to me that what pack sex should sell to you. Ooh, to you. To you.
All right, there we go. I just need to check one thing before we actually start the reviews. I'm going to do some math and make sure that these goals are good, and then we can get into it. 730 minus 569. We have 161 there. This should really be maxed already, but it's getting to where it needs to be. Plus 677 minus 677 because I did that math wrong. Plus 730 minus 677 is 214. We're at minus 221. We're only at a 7. So we're doing really good, and I need those combats. Let's see. We're actually going to close down Hoth at this point. And then let's get into those reviews. Let's see what we can get done. All right, the first one we have up here, blah, 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 blah. I think we've got Mcclanky, right? Mcclanky, you're up here somewhere. Yes, you are. Yesterday at 8:24 p.m. When was the last one we did for you, Mcclanky? Wasn't it like a month ago? What could I possibly tell you? Hopefully I gave you different advice. Let's see. Gameplay. Change this over to swugga.gg. There we go. Okay. Mcclanky, premium review, revenge review, because Mcclanky, we killed off their character in XCOM. Sadly, I tried. I tried, man. I did. You panicked, so I couldn't get a med pack to you. Finished Jabba Balin events and the requirements for Leviathan and JM Master Mace Windu, and unlocked Cat since the last time I've been here. Not communicating with my shard, and my interest in ship is rather fleeting. I don't know if that's true or if you just wanted to do the pun, but definitely, as much as we all hate fleets, they're important to the game. Currently working Assault Battle CT3 on most, CT2 on the Inks and Night Sisters one. Those ones are fine. Pretty is still R5 and R6. Currently working on probably Vader, as I'm right there, and gas is needed for Ahsoka anyway. Efficiency sounds like some kind of exotic dish. Is it tasty? It is, honestly. It really is. I think I'll have the most of the Proving Grounds characters that I don't already own in 7 to 8 months. So I hope they all happen at once and that you get overwhelmed by that. Could use some suggestions for Conquest teams, as Gas, Starkiller, Old Republic was kind of meh. When is Egg Draws? And hey, this is what we were talking about, Mcclanky. We get tons of reviews, and that has been pushing off Egg Draws. I miss Egg Draws too, but it is a very anxiety-inducing segment for me as well. Conquest teams. This is what we were just talking about, and I don't know if you're still on stream right now with us, but essentially, teams that I don't bother doing feats on most of the time are Gas, Starkiller, Old Republic, Imperial Troopers. I generally do not bother doing feats on unless they're very specific feats because of the turn meter train. Pirates have been very annoying to fight, but I still feel like they're pretty okay. you know, but these are the things that I'm throwing JMK against, and I'm just letting it be done. And I'm moving past that team. So that's JMK and Cat. You know, the other suggestions that other people had kind of given were like GM is a great team for that. C Bane is a great team for that. Stranger is a great team for that. But really, JMK Cat is like a really, really solid delete team that's fairly easy to get in the grand scheme of things that you're going to save specifically for those things. Now, based on what I know of your roster, I think you're around, I think you're around like 11 million, right? Lots of Lightspeed bundles, if I remember correctly. Let's find out. 11.7 million. Heretic, you really, really, really need to work on those fleets. Your requirements for Leviathan are done. Finished Jabba Balin events and the requirements for Leviathan. So you're just waiting for the Leviathan event. You really need to get fleet crystals, even if you're not getting 400 a day. Let's see. We are one. My God. This account is like. I know that you have this like major erection for separatists, which is funny to me. It is fun. Uh, I know people who have already relic 10'd their entire separatist roster, so you will not be the first, unfortunately. Let's just see if we're missing any GLs, Galactic Legends. Okay, Jabba's at relic 4. We're going to want to get him to at least relic 7, relic 8, really. Jabba Balin event and requirements. I want to see. What about Reva? No Reva. Oh, actually, it's third sister, right? No third sister yet. You do have the boys. The boys are at R10. Peridia Patrol. Look, I honestly think that Relic 9 is a hard requirement, and you like anyone at your level should have them at Relic 9. But you're also missing out on so many GL, and you're so far behind in that respect that I think probably Relic 7 you should do very short term to at least get that Relic 7 tier for now, and to move from there. That should be like a short term, get that done right now. Inquisitors at Relic 2 for our CT2. Not really that big of a deal. That's completely fine. Night Sisters at CT2. You have the Great Mothers now. I'm going to tell you that I don't know the Great Mothers team for doing CT3 of that event. It's obviously Great Mothers, Morgan. I think it involves Zombie, but I don't fully know because I've never done it that way. I've always done it the Mother Talzin, Daka, Marin, Asajj, Zombie way, and it's actually not that difficult as long as you mod. But GM is probably your better avenue for that, since you already have brought a more significant part of that team to Relic 7. So M3 is saying Mothers, Elsbeth, Zombie, and the Pals. So the Pals will help you being R7 anyway, and that should get them to CT3. Though I'd really strongly, if you're going to use the GM team, I really strongly recommend bringing Spirit to at least Relic 7 as well, because Spirit does a ton of the damage, especially post Relic Delta. Gear Tracker. I think Kylo and Jabba are the ones you have, right? Kylo and Jabba. Close to Rey. Do we have Ben? Do not have Ben, which makes Rey useless to you right now. JML is getting close. I would consider. I don't remember if you said you were red crating this conquest or not, but if you are red crating, I would consider doing JML in the much shorter term, so that you have like a really, really solid team over the next 3 months. Yeah, you are so. That's what I remember. You were so close to everything. Just like so close to everything. My God. You just need to spend all of your money on Zetas and just start racking up all of these GL. So Leviathan. Soka's on the closer end. You said just gas here. Hondo's further. Hondo's going to be kind of important, but he's much further away. And I feel like by the time you're ready to go for him, all of his stuff is going to be in Lightspeed tokens anyway. Jedi Master Mace Windu. I know you have the requirements for him and you're just waiting. Unlock him, obviously, but I just don't think with everything else you're unlocking, I don't think he's worth the Zetas when you are going to be very Zeta crunched with all of this other crap that's going to be going on. I think that the way that I would do this is Lord Vader. Do you have Bane yet? Yes, you do have Bane. Okay. C Bane, you know, C and Bane can be split. I split them a lot. I know other people who don't really split them. Phil doesn't split them. He uses C with Bane often. I do think that C Bane is going to become very prominent once Jedi Training Leia comes out. So that's something to keep in mind just super heavily. Lord Vader, you're so close to clones. What do we have for clones? Our clones are at least usable. The no Zetas on these two yet, but they are usable. I'd recommend a minimum, bare minimum of Relic 7, but that's really a Relic 9 team. So what I would do is I would do Peridia Boys to Relic 7. I would finish Lord Vader. I would get his troopers to Relic 7. I would make sure that Jabba and his team are also at Relic 7. At that point, I would finish up C because you're also just so damn close to finishing up C. And then I would really power hard into JML. Just again, because of Jedi Training Leia. Whether or not you're red crating, if you're red crating, you're going to want this done in 3 months. If you're not red crating, you're going to want this done in about 4 months anyway. So I think that that's going to be really important for you to have that really strong Jedi Training Leia team. I would think Reva would still beat JML. The reality is, I don't know, Caleb. You know, Leia's going to be really strong. Will Third Sister still beat it? Maybe. Maybe. But I do think it's going to be a lot harder to beat. And what Bad Batch defeats GM in Sector 4? New Batch. Oh, yeah. My new batch did not beat them, but my new batch is also not well modded or high relic, so I just kind of gave up on that. So I would do Pretty Boys to Relic 7, Lord Vader, do Lord Vader, get his team to Relic 7, finish Jabba to Relic 7, make sure his team is at Relic 7, do C because C is going to be a little bit more important for you later on. And this is going to be another delete team for you for Conquest with C Bane and being able to kind of push through teams that are too difficult for you. JML at that point would be a really good shout, especially because of Jedi Training Leia. Leviathan, I would strongly prioritize. I don't know if you should 7-star it or not. Definitely prioritize 5-starring it at least. After Jedi Master Luke, I think it is time that you just go for Leia. Go for Leia before Profundity. I think it's just you need to just start racking these things up. And Leia's really strong, and I would normally say go for Leia before JML at this point. But I think with Jedi Training Leia on the horizon, that being ready with JML is going to be better for you. After JML, go for Leia, then go for Profundity. Right? And then just start racking. I think you could literally do all of that in like 4 to 5 months, maybe even less. You're going to be hurting for Zetas. You're going to be hurting really hard for Zetas, but CG has opened the floodgates and made that a lot easier in the last couple of months. So hopefully that's going to help you. All right, let's keep going. Just want to check something in my guild real quick. Boom. Yes. And okay, let's keep going. Roster review requests. See, everybody's putting in these review requests. We have. Here's the one I'm looking for. Shira. What time is it? 2:29. It is now 2:41. 2:41:30. Type of review, regular for domestic draft. I'm putting this in now because you might be a draft user on YouTube, and if you are, I recommend setting that up with your Discord so that it can be seen on Discord. Plus, you get to see the member area and chat with us. What top 20 of your fleet arena looks like? 20 Leviathan. I stay in the top 10 easily, can push for top 5 occasionally if I'm on at payout. I am in the Discord. CT3 on all assault battles. Duel of the Fates, Pretty Patrol, all R9. Currently working on waiting for the new raid. Are you dead set on continuing with the current farms you're doing? Opening to change? Well, opening to change what? You haven't isolated anything you're working on. Efficiency for PvE, fun for PvP. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though it's probably not smart? Mandalorians to R9, but need to see what's needed for the next raid. Shards for important proving ground characters. I don't let anything go there. Now, I think that this is an account, like when I look at these accounts and I go, I don't think you need a roster review. It sounds like you are basically caught up in the game and you probably have a roster that's bigger than mine. So I am going to assume that you're probably somewhere around 15.5 million, 15.8 million in Sigma Mechanics. How are Sigma Mechanics doing? TV, you're doing 44. You have a Leviathan. Okay. I'm curious. You can easily stay in the top 10, top five occasionally if you're on payout. I don't know how big of a spender you are in terms of like, oh, I don't care about the fleet crystals because I'm just gonna buy a vault. But Leviathan using the Fury class B28 dagger lineup to start. And let me just see your Darth Revan. Darth Revan Relic 10. You can auto that battle, right? And that's what makes that battle so lovely is you can pop in, you go first, you hit auto. If you don't go first, you play until first reinforcement, you throw in the scimitar, you hit auto. It makes doing that battle so easy. Oh, I just dropped my pencil. It makes doing that battle so easy and so mindless that I almost am like, if you're not on at your payout, you should just change your payout to a time that you're always on, because those are free crystals that you're leaving on the table. Kyber 3, interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have all of the GLs. I can't imagine you're missing anything. Yeah, you're not missing anything. Okay. So I'm going to treat this review like I agree with you, wait for the raid. What I am going to treat this as is here are the things in your roster that I would isolate as being priorities for after your hoarding is done. So for after they give those informations. Because right now, your entire roster it becomes relic hygiene, right? It's just like, what do I bring up? Right? Okay, that's what the only thing to check is mods. Yeah, I hate checking mod. I'm going to, because you're right. There is nothing else to check. But I hate checking mods because it's not as simple as saying, oh, fix your mods. You know, like that's a long process. What is our mod score? Our mod score is amazing. Your top 110 mod score is 33. You know, so when we look at where our roster is, let's sort this by relic level. Where are our Mandalorians? The Mandalorians are a really great shout which you have isolated as a priority team in the end game, because Mandalore for most guilds is 2 to 3 days, and that is the highest GP mission possible. So being able to do that really is worth it for somebody. So that definitely is your priority. Like, hey, let's get this done right now kind of thing. Once your horde is done. Looking at your below relic 7. Let's see. Who is here? Quiggold, I think, should at least be relic 8 right off the bat. Savage should be at least relic 8 right off of the bat. I guess that's not right off of the bat. That's just happening after. If this was earlier in the era, I would have said build up your Cassian team more, but we're pretty late in the era at this point. Night Sister Spirit, I would bring to at least relic 8. Cobb Vanth, I think, needs to go to at least relic 8 as well. I have not been having great luck with him not being at relic 8. Treya Nihilus should be relic 8 at this point, you know, especially post relic Delta. Those are Gungan food for me. I love when people send that into my account and they just get demolished. I'd really like to see your new batch at least relic 7. What about that Cobb team? Lobot is already relic 9. Nebbit should probably go to at least relic 8. Scavenger should probably go to at least relic 8. I feel like relic 8 is where Cobb Vanth needs to live unless you have the relics to bring him even higher. Otherwise, I've just found in higher Kyber that he can't overcome the damage and the relic difference against like a Hondo team or against like a Jabba team without it being really inconsistent and unreliable. Afra is 8, BT1 is 8, 000 is 8. Yeah, this is all just little bits of hygiene. But again, every piece of hygiene that I'm giving you here is after the raid comes out and after you know what you need to do for the raid. Looking at our relic 8s. Obviously, Beskar Mando with the BKM team. Captain Drogon, I really think needs to go to at least relic 9 to be much more consistent with the Leia team. I took mine to relic 10, though. Don't see anything else there. It's all hygiene, man. That's it. It's literally all hygiene. Let's go on. Let's go to quick. Let's go to quick. Oh my god, this is a long one. 622. Quick is not going to be very quick. 249.30. Standard review, top 20 fleet arena, 16 Leviathan, 4 Executor, currently number 14. Currently coordinating, not currently. I recommend it. Find your fleet Discord. It makes life so much easier. All of your assault battles are at CT3. You have both of the new ones at R9, which is good. I was able to get my account back a month ago. Quit. Someone else had it. Came back because they quit, and I wanted it back. And I am enjoying getting back in the swing of things. With that said, playing catch-up means there are a lot of things to distract, and I just want general input on prioritization and some other questions. Relic farming. Thankfully, with the change to era shipments, I have a great resource to get some of these relic mats and signal data because I get 3,000 currency daily. Pairing that with the guild activity shipment, I get a decent amount of relic material. But I was curious if there was more I should be doing. I'd like to use my energy to convert for keyboards. I just finished GLAT. and got her to R9, but I'm about to get into that weird hell of unlocking too many things at once and not knowing where or how to spread resources. The good news is that they've unlocked Zetas, really, with the Omega battles and made that a lot easier for players to do. So it does kind of help a little bit. Balin, Jar Jar, Jedi Master Mace Windu. I don't think and this is before seeing your roster. I don't think Jar Jar is a priority team, even though I love my Jar Jar team. They're Relic 10. I don't think Jedi Master Mace Windu is a priority team. Balin isn't necessarily a priority team, but he does definitely perform very well. So it is a team that you'll get a lot of use out of. And DTMG, unless you're in a really high TB guild, for Mandalore, I don't think he is a very important thing. Now that could change with Scout Trooper, Snow Trooper Commander. We don't know. We'll find that out. Another factor with the relic farming to consider is Rada and the event post era that requires R10 and Rada and the other members at R9. Having the mats ready and prepared for this event seems like a no-brainer since I have already invested in the characters themselves, and the ROI on the event is R10 and other mats just makes sense. Depending on the cost to get characters to 125 to unlock 7-star Rada, I have the other characters in 7-star, so it seems like a no-brainer. The concerning this is MK7 and MK08 only seeming to be play to win. You are correct. It'll be about roughly $200 to $250 in materials to get those characters to 125. Now, if you are doing that, they're all at 7 stars, but if you choose to take them to 125, I do believe that a player doing that should max out their characters for the assault battles. You will not get back your materials for Relic 7, 8, or 9. You will get back and more your Relic 10 materials. You get about 50 to 60% of everything else, but you also get crystals and you get strong teams. So for somebody spending the money to get there, I do strongly think that it is worth it to do the R10, R9, and do the tier 8. Right now, I have quite a bit of shard farming that my account is behind on, including Pirates, Anniversary, and Andor, with some of the Pirates being relatively close to acceleration and potentially LSTs from Era. I am considering if I should hard focus on Pirates or wait for their acceleration. Obviously, Hondo gives access to Smuggler's Run 3, and I can certainly use the mods and mats, but according to Hot Utils Farming Command, it will take me about 3 months. Now, if you are behind in the game, you are correct that next era, hopefully Pirates should be there. So for someone in your situation, it very much might make sense for you specifically to wait on Pirates. Let's see. Current relic materials. Your relic materials are kind of low. So unless you're going to be buying relic materials, I don't know if you're going to be able to capitalize on the Relic 10, Relic 9. You know, like Zimbital cards, you only have 140. Electrium conductors, you literally have 0. Impulse detectors, you have 16. So unless you're planning on spending a lot of money on those relic materials, I don't think that you're going to be able to get there in the next like 3 weeks or so. Not dead set, looking for advice. Efficiency for fun. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize? Not really. Looking at important proving ground characters, the Stranger is kind of important. Satil is kind of important. Jocasta, SM33, Maz are not really that important. Cobb is useful, but as of right now does not feel important. It's an interesting roster. I'm gonna say 12 million. 12.6 million. Have I done a cost breakdown of the Coliseum levels compared to the relics post-release from eras on which is more costly? Matt, that's actually something I haven't done, and that's a really interesting idea. It's a hard thing to talk about, though, just because depending on where you are in the game, Relic 7 is, like, for me, it's completely free. But it's not an uninteresting idea, and I might consider putting together a chart tomorrow. It's interesting is what it is. Quick, to answer your first question on how to handle your relic materials, I'm just going to show you what I do. So here's how I handle relic materials. Shipments, I am buying all of this stuff. The only reason I'm bought flawed signal data is because of the new era challenges. I have an abundance. This flawed signal data I do feel is a little bit of a trap. So I'm only buying it if I feel like I have way more than enough of everything else. These I am hard buying every single time. I try to keep about 5 characters worth of R10s here. Obviously, I have more than that right now, so I don't really prioritize the coaxial servo motors. And I'm not buying lightspeed tokens because I am caught up, and I'm just using Kyber tokens to bring the rest of my characters to Relic 6, which means that I don't really find any of these things useful for me personally. My energy, my light side energy is always going to shock prods, which I am going to convert to droid brains because I'm finding that I'm just always going to need droid brains. So I am constantly buying those there. My fleet energy is always going to data pads or comparable. Now, what I basically do in the scavenger for Relic 8 and Relic 9 material is I try to keep the material for those, here it is, at under 400, so that when I look in my stores, I can very quickly see which things I need to purchase and which things I need to hold off on. Depending on the raid your guild is doing, I have found that Electrium conductors, I get enough of them for free now, and I'm not too worried about that. You may not be in that position yet, obviously, because you're playing catch up, right? So that is where I am kind of going around with this stuff. I just kind of let it build up, and I get it whenever I can eat it. Fleet 2E is cheaper for Gerda scraps. Interesting. What is Fleet 2E? Fleet 2E, A, B, C, D, E. For furnaces, it's the same for relic scrap, though. For Gerda scrap, right? They're both 10 nodes. They both give the same thing. And there's no difference in drop rate for this, as far as I know. Now, you can say if there's something here like, oh, you can use this for something, but I don't need it. I have so many bronzium wiring at this point that it's just a no-brainer. Like, I cannot spend my MK1 fast enough. For my stuff here, my guild events, is it guild? No, guild activity. My MK3 goes to impulse detectors and arrow magnifiers. Priority to arrow magnifiers, but right now I'm lower on impulse detectors, so priority to impulse detectors. My MK2 I use for Zimbittles and Electrium conductors until I get to about like 700 or 800. And once I get to a comfortable amount, I will buy the relic scrap that I need in order to get Relic 9 and Relic 8 material here. My MK1, for you, looking at your relic materials, you might want to buy bronzium wiring, but for me, I'm just spending it on mod material, and then I randomly spend it down here because I don't spend it fast enough. Definitely look out for these Blast Tech weapon mods for guild event tokens, because that is going to help you. Real overall value. This is going to help you with those chromium transistors. Guild events, I only buy Relic 8 and Relic 9 material with MK3. I only buy what I need for Relic 8 and Relic 9 with MK2. I ignore microatonators. Some people love them. I think that they're worthless. I'm not spending material on the small chance of an upgrade. I want a defined upgrade. Anything else? This all goes to mod stuff. Shard shop currency all goes to anything that can be specifically turned into Relic 8, then Relic 9. Yes, Sharamundi, but I'm talking from my specific experience. My specific experience is to me, I don't need any of that stuff anymore. So I just put it on the keypads because that's where I am in the game right now. I think that's it in terms of, and then I always buy the fragmented signal data. I always buy the incomplete signal data every single time. Even if this is going to be converted and I get too much of it, fine. I then convert it into corrupted signal data, even if I just want to have as much of that as possible, because right now getting 15 for a relic 10 is not a lot. But in the future, when they need me to get 20, 25, 30, it may be a lot more. Okay. Let's see our actual account now, shall we? 12.6 million. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're only missing Hondo. So our catch-up is not as bad as I thought. Starlight's Hope, they are maxing the raid, so you are getting plenty of raid material. You're going to want to prioritize the raid a little bit, right? Because your guild is going to want you to have a high raid score. So keep that in mind, that you are going to have to put in some priority there as well. I think that's the only thing. No, not here. Just Hondo, Jedi Master Mace Windu. Again, I don't think he's worth the Zetas right now if you're going to be unlocking a lot of Zeta characters. Balin definitely will help you a lot more than Jedi Master Mace Windu. You have everything else. What is your guild doing in TB? They're doing 45. Your guild probably wants you to get DTMG at this point, because at 45, you are trying to maximize Mandalore. So I would definitely, out of those two things you have there, I would prioritize DTMG and Balin as your stronger candidates. Again, with the era battle for Rada, that's a lot of relic material you don't have. I would maybe consider getting Rada to relic 10, and then the dark side version of the event, trying to do it as low as possible. So for the anniversary, I was able to do the mall version of the event with everyone else at relic 2. And that meant I didn't have to spend the relic materials, right? So maybe consider getting to tier 7 on both of those era battles and see where that gets you, unless you're spending a lot of money on getting the materials. Enjoy getting back into the swing. The new era is in only 2 weeks. But, like, you don't really have that much to go for. Balin DTMG. Playing catch up. Relic hygiene is going to be another thing that you're going to want to kind of worry about. And that's making sure that your relic levels are where they need to be able to participate. You do not have a lot of relic 9 characters. You do not have a lot of relic 8 characters. I'm going to try to give you like a brief overview, because right now I think it's worth waiting. I think it's worth it for you to wait 3 weeks getting into the next era to see if Hondo is going to have his Lightspeed tokens. And in 3 weeks, if they're not in Lightspeed tokens, you should go for Hondo. But in 3 weeks, if they are in those Lightspeed tokens and you now just need to do some relic hygiene, my thought process would be something like Darth Bane should be relic 8 minimum. Malicos should be relic 8 minimum. Queen Amidala can stay here for now at relic 7, but really, if your boys are at relic 9, she should be at relic 9. Star Killer can probably stay at relic 7 for now because you don't have the Stranger. Quercetan should probably be at least relic 8. Maroc, what are your Inquisitors looking like? Inquisitors are all Relic 7 now, so Maroc can probably stay at Relic 7. I already know that you are going to not have your Treya team at higher relics. Treya with Relic Delta, honestly, for you, maybe Relic 7, but I really think minimum is Relic 8. Same thing with Savage, same thing with Nihilus. I would definitely prioritize your clones. You have Lord Vader. For you, again, minimum Relic 7, but really with the ramping, Relic 9 is where that team should be. Shinhati will be Relic 7 at least once you get Balin. Darkside Ray should be at least Relic 7. You want her to survive. I need to bring mine to Relic 8 personally. Yeah, G12 Nihilus isn't doing you crap. Savage at G12 isn't doing you crap. The DTMG squad will really help you with TB. Your guild will thank you. DTMG, Moff Gideon, Scout Trooper, and then you can use the Dead Boys there as well. I think I use DTMG, Enoch, Dead Boys, and Scout. I don't use Moff Gideon. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have that much more to say to you, honestly. The biggest thing I can help you with right now is obviously that I showed you what I do with my relics and how I handle my relics, and that's probably what is going to be your big thing. You know, where are your Cassian boys? Active era, all era. Your Cassian team, I don't think you're going to meet the goal unless you're spending money. I don't think you're going to meet the goal of getting your Cassian team 2 relics to get Cassian before his event comes out based on Maul. So my recommendation would just be 5 battles a day on them. Try to get him before his 3rd run. You know, all of this stuff, like 5 battles a day. Let's try to get Maul. Let's try to get Cassian, but you're probably going to get them around 3rd run. Maul, you might not even get at 3rd run. Unless you do 10 battles a day on these guys, unless you're spending, you know, but that's up to you. But that's about as helpful as I can be. A little bit of relic hygiene, you know, a little bit of worrying about Hondo and getting Hondo. Hondo should be your priority. Obviously, we talked about how you should prioritize it. I hope that you found it helpful. I have now been talking for 3 hours and 7 minutes. So I think it is about time to call it a day at this point. My voice is shot. Let's see if anybody is on Twitch. If you are on Twitch right now, don't forget about those Bezos bucks. Bezos bucks are a great way to get me a beer without having to spend any money at all. Nobody is on Swugger right now. All right, so I think we're just calling it a day here. Look for me to do some stuff next week. I'll be home. Obviously, Friday I will not be able to see because I have an eye doctor appointment. They're putting those drops in my eyes. We'll find out who lives, who dies, who tells their story in XCOM all next week as we practice for Zero Company. Though I really wish a Tarantino stream. I really wish, like, XCOM has this thing where you can have a character pool. I think it'd be cool if Zero Company released a thing ahead of time where you can build, like, have Discord members build their own characters and then have them ready to bring into your game right when the game comes out. Like, that would be super awesome if we could build that character pool right now. I would pre-order it if there was, like, a thing that allowed me to do that. That'd be dope. But we're going to see the invite today. I've got some chores to do. So, peace out. Have a great rest of your day, ladies, gentlemen.